Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. It is Markets in the Morning. Let's go. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the Blockchain Backer, bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. Welcome to Markets in the Morning. Today is a Wednesday, October 29th, 2025, almost Halloween. This is Markets in the Morning, where we take a look at the price action of the cryptocurrency market, including the Bitcoin price chart, along with the altcoin market, as we get ready for the stock market to open up in about 30 minutes from right now. So we'll catch that live, and then we'll also take a look over there at precious metals like gold and silver, the US dollar currency index, try to paint the picture the best we can in the amount of time that we have of where we are at in the market today on this fine Wednesday. Today also happens to be Fed Day, so we will have the Federal Reserve come out and make their rate decision. Lots of rumors out there that they'll end QT today, quantitative tightening. It's expected that they'll do a 25 basis point rate cut. This will be the first time we don't live stream the Fed meeting in like 2 years. So we're done with that. You all can catch that wherever you want to catch that online. They have it on their website. I'm sure somebody else will pick up that opportunity and run with it with the Fed live stream, and good for them. But yeah, that'll be later today. And so the markets, of course, a lot of volatility on that probably. We typically see volatility leading up to it, during it, and after it. And then as we get ready, everybody's kind of anticipating November 1st, I think, is when the deadline is for China with 100% tariff stuff. And people are pricing in, a China trade deal and all that kind of good stuff. So we've got a lot going on right now. Today is a special stream, so I'll get into that in a second. But first, of course, I hope you all are having a wonderful week, and happy Wednesday, my dudes.
It is Wednesday, my dudes. It is Wednesday.
All right. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for being here. This is going to be a little bit of a different live stream. We did something like this about a year ago. And as many of you probably know, yesterday, Category 5 Hurricane Melissa slammed into Jamaica. And this morning, we are probably going to get a lot of the images coming out of there on what happened to that. So if you don't know what a Category 5 hurricane is, that's the most devastating size hurricane you can get. Sustained wind speed of 150 to 180 miles per hour. It's enough to absolutely level and destroy everything, flash flooding, all that kind of stuff. So, a lot of people just going about living their completely normal life, and then everything gets completely taken away from them. And so on these, when this happens, of course, and this type of devastation happens in the days and weeks after these types of things, there's like two different phases that come with a hurricane. The first part is going through the hurricane itself and just trying to like stay safe during the actual hurricane. But then after a hurricane comes the days, weeks of just trying to kind of survive the moment. And electricity is out, water is hard to get, food is hard to get, vehicles, it's hard to drive anywhere, kind of stuck wherever you're at. Communications can be out, and life is really, really tough after those types of moments. So, with this live stream, we have a fundraiser set up for it. It's going to be for an organization called Operation Airdrop. We did this a year ago. And Operation Airdrop is a nonprofit with private pilots. They fly in supplies to these areas that are hard to reach and try to drop them off. And, when things like FEMA and government organizations, a little bit harder for them to get to them because the roads are blocked off and things like that. Like private pilots fly these things in and drop them off into these areas that are really hard to reach. So we did this last year, and you can visit their website at operationairdrop.org. They're a Texas-based 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to providing rapid relief to communities impacted by natural disasters, founded in the aftermath of Hurricane Harvey in 2017, mobilizing volunteer pilots and diverse fleets of aircraft to deliver essential supplies to areas cut off from traditional aid routes. By partnering with local charities and organizations, we ensure that vital resources such as food, medical supplies, and baby items reach those in need within hours, not days. So, I really feel bad for this stuff. I'm really sucked into it when these hurricanes happen. I typically watch all the footage of it, but I know exactly what happens to these communities after these things occur. So this is something that can try to help people immediately. And I think today, sometimes, running these things is better after everybody has seen all the footage of what it looks like. But I figure if we could just do it as fast as possible. And then throughout the day, if you see footage of like how bad this really is, you want to come back here to this live stream, the donations will be left open for 24 hours and you can donate to the nonprofit. So when you do choose to donate to this, the funds never touch my hands. It goes straight through YouTube. YouTube doesn't take a cut of it like they typically do when you give me a personal donation. And I, of course, will donate myself. So right now, let's take a look at where we're at right now. Oh, there we go. See, I got to look at it on my phone. They were going to hear me. You know how like people say, "Oh, I hate hearing my own voice." I have to listen to my own voice every day. All right, so we're at $434 raised. All right, we'll get into this crypto stuff here in a minute. Don't worry about that. We'll dive into that. Let me see if I can make a donation. All right, so like when you do donate, if you don't click on the show my name along with my donation amount in the live chat, it's not going to tell me who you are. So if you don't put your name, I'm not going to see it. Let's see if I can get this to work. I'm going to try myself first. Okay. And like, look, if you don't want to do it through here either, right? You can go straight to their website, operationairdrop.org. I don't care if we don't rack up a huge number over here on YouTube. And if you want to do that privately, you can. If you go to operationairdrop.org, you can make the donation directly here on their website too. That's up to you on what you want to do. I'm having a hard time getting this thing to load on my end. So I may have to come back to it. I'm just going to refresh my page and see if that does anything. Okay. Keep talking. That's the art of live streaming. Try again. Here we go. Oh, no, I don't want to do that. I almost did it anonymously. That's the thing I just told you not to do. All right. I'll keep working on that privately on my end until I can get it to go through. Otherwise, what's going on in the crypto market? No, I refuse to give up. We're going to try one more time. Okay, I'll let that load. Oh, it's working. I think that's my security code. There. Boom. $500 donated. All right. So anything that I make on this stream, right, obviously giving back. And I don't intend to make any money off of this live stream. And there we go. So, all right. Okay. Here we go. So what's going on with crypto? We're at $113,300 for Bitcoin. It's still just ranging. I've been writing a newsletter, right? And so like I've been looking, at as we were kind of getting ready here in the waiting room for the live stream to start. I saw comments in there like BCP is wrong, Russell 2000, gold, end of year, Fed cutting and stuff like that. And it's like you're just those you're listing out things that I've said. Those are things that I've said. Like, I understand that. I present those things and deliver those to you. The challenge, of course, is if you're choosing one way or the other in the environment that we're in right now, you essentially have to negate the other argument's sides, right? And so, for the bulls, the argument is going to be, of course, like, well, gold is popping, right? Or the RTY the Russell 2000 is trying to break out, or the Bitcoin dominance, right? Like, those are going to be the list of arguments that the bulls will hold on to, and those make logical sense, right? And then the bears are going to go over there and grab their stuff, and they're going to say, well, Bitcoin's in distribution, right? Or they're going to say, well, what happens after you have a massive liquidation in the cryptocurrency market, right? Let's see if I can find it. Maybe, right? Maybe, right? What happens after you have a massive liquidation in the cryptocurrency market? You're typically just going to range like this, and then you're going to keep going down, right? Or when we take a look at like all the weekly indicators, right? Grab XRP here real quick, right? Maybe this one. We'll go to weekly. Right? Then you grab your weekly indicators and you say, well, what happens when you do that? Right? Or you could argue with the Russell 2000, 4.236 extension, which has been the number that we've talked about here the whole time on the channel, is it going to a 4.236 extension. You could argue your 4-year cycles, right? People say, which at the end of every 4-year cycles, the irony is everybody says extended cycles, but you could argue your 4-year cycles, right? Or you could say, well, still, it's only October. And it's like, okay, well, fine. It's only October. When did the last one end? It ended November 9th. So you're 10 days away, right? So, the bulls will hold on to their things like, thinking that, hey, we've seen gold pull back for a week. Maybe that's the pop. Or the Russell 2000 is escaping, but it's not going to reject at the 4.236 extension, or the Bitcoin dominance has to roll. But then the bears are going to hold on to the other stuff, right? Bitcoin in distribution, massive liquidation. The market is acting like what happens post-liquidation, ranging behavior happening in here. And that the Russell is at the 4.236 extension, and that the Fed is in a cutting cycle, right? It's all the worst argument people can ever present to me, ever. Like, the worst thing you can ever tell me is the Fed has started cutting. Are you stupid? That's where I literally am like, I can't believe what's coming out of your mouth. Because have you ever looked at it? Have you ever studied it to see what happens when the Fed's in a cutting cycle? When the Fed's in a cutting cycle, the markets crash horrifically. It's not until the Fed has cut to zero that the markets tend to find a bottom. So being we're at 4% today for the Fed funds rate, 4 to 4.25, right? If the Fed cuts today to 3.75 to 4, we're still very, very far away from zero, but we're in a cutting cycle, right? Your argument is based off of probably what an influencer told you, and not based on looking at the data yourself. So you have both sides, right? You have your Bitcoin dominance, your Russell, your potential gold stuff, right? That's what people will hold on to, Bitcoin dominance. And then there's all the other stuff on the other side. So everybody wants this really clear-cut picture. And I'm just here to tell you that's not there, right? That clear-cut picture that everybody wants isn't there. Bears, you don't have the full clear-cut picture. Bulls, you don't either. And you're in that kind of middle ground. The way price action is behaving, right? And liquidations are behaving and indicators are behaving, they're indicating bear, right? They just are. And then you're holding on to macro ideas, and you're holding on to Bitcoin dominance, Russell, gold, you're holding on to macro ideas, then, you're trying to hold on to the bull hope. But the indicators and price behavior mimic that of bear. So, that's where you're kind of stuck in this middle ground. So I've written 40 pages on the newsletter. We're going to do the whole bear versus bull thing all over again in there. But, even in the price action that we're seeing in here, right? So Wyckoff distribution, up thrust after distribution happening in there. Things you could even, no, not here. Again, trying to figure out these topping structures in here. And I've shown these, right? These were in the video from Monday, posted over there on Twitter. They were there on Friday too, I think. You have your initial liquidation, and then you can go sweep those highs. Technically speaking, that's like minimum requirement to happen in there. You can go down further after that. That's like the minimum requirement. I want to guess, but I don't. Again, just like that, I don't have full blown conviction that it'll happen. But I want to guess that this would be the perfect time to produce a 702 retrace. Similarly to this. Right, that. Let's do this. Right. Then the initial liquidation. Right. Then we go set the new low. Right. Then go set the new low. And then we head back into a retracement, right? Why would that not be crazy, right? Why would it not be crazy for that to be happening here? Again, going back to longer term discussions. Of all of this. Let's try it. You gonna work? You worked. That. What if, right? What if this is still right? What if this is totally still right? It's exactly what we're doing. And right, if you recall, you do get a 702 retracement right there. Right? But, why would we get one right here? Right? Price clearly didn't pull down deep enough, right, for it to occur from there. But what, right? Like you can clearly see price definitely goes below this ABC over here, right? We certainly did not here. We found supports right in the middle of it, right? So could that be possible? Could that be possible? Maybe. Why? Because this is Bitstamp. This is the Bitstamp chart on the right. What happens if we use Coinbase? Oh no, Coinbase literally did that too. It was right there. Didn't go all the way down 94. And this is where the 702 came from on the Coinbase chart. So technically speaking, it would make sense. There is a 702 happening here. And that isn't unwound yet. That hasn't faded, right? So, everybody, if it happens, which, like I said, like you have all these things leaning one way, all these things leaning another way. If I had to lean on probabilities of which way it seems like it's going to go, I put 70%, probability. It seems like this is what's going to end up happening. You'd be looking the minimum requirements, of course, going back down and hitting that previous 2021 all-time high. But there's a long ways to go to get there, and we have to see certain things play out first. So, I think we're kind of just in a waddle right now in the market, and we have a couple of narratives coming up. Things I'm really going to be paying attention to is even something I brought up in the video on Monday when we were talking about XRP, that typically the most euphoric news happens at the retracement, right? When XRP went back into the 702 retracement over here, it happens on what? the official ending of the case. All the appeals were dropped, 4 years of terror. It finally came to an end right at the 702 Fibonacci retracement. So extreme euphoria and very difficult to sell, right? Let's be real. Like, you wait till that moment. How do you sell on that day, right? And it's funny because we theorized about that for such a long time, leading up to it, in the years leading up to it, saying, what would you do if the case ending was the mark at the top? And so far at this point, it was the mark of the retracement, and price has not exceeded that particular moment in time. But the reason I bring that up, of course, is to say, I've been through many 702 retracements and watched how the crowd gets very, very violently bullish and very, very euphoric. And so something we'll be monitoring for is, does that extreme violent euphoria and confidence happen there? Does news happen there? Does the Fed do something? Does Trump and China make a deal, right? Is there a fundamental reason to be bullish right there, right? And that can many times mark a top. So those are things that are just on my radar right now. Indicator wise, I can just show them to you over and over again. I don't feel like we need to, but your larger time frame stuff, it's still not favorable, right? That's not bullish. And then you zoom out for weeks, right? You just got divergences all over in here. It still points to that's the direction it wants to go. I was thinking about it a lot today, and where I would start to, right. So like the upthrust after distribution was not shocking to me, right? Like that we could do something like that and have an upthrust after distribution. Something that would be shocking to me is if we got above that high again. If we got above that high again, I would have to start really questioning things. I would have to start like checking way more things over in the bull category if we ended up getting there. So there's kind of an invalidation level that's there now, just based on all the bearish divergences that we have and the price structures that we have, the things that we've done, and that I think we have a level in here to start saying, well, wait a minute, things might be kind of shifting. And that's if Bitcoin gets up to those levels, right? And, that's about 10% away from where we are right now. Some people, that sounds like a lot, but again, this is crypto. The percentages are massive to get to anywhere you're at. We're up 692% off the low. We're talking about an entire structure change happening. We're right. That level right there, that 702 is 672. We've gone as high as 713, right? We're at 643 right now. You're talking 10% higher. So if it went 10% higher than here, you kind of just structurally have changes happening. And I could kind of create an argument, but we'd definitely have to see that first. But the main thing I'm watching for is distribution right now. And a lot of things point to it being distribution. I don't know how many times we've shown the Russell 2000 at the 4.236 extension, and we're there right now. We're there today. And people don't care, right? The bulls dismiss it. It doesn't matter. Your 4-year cycles are dismissed. They don't matter. The bearish divergence is dismissed. They don't matter. Hey, guys, it might matter, right? It just might. So, I just want to make sure we're not walking into this in this environment that we're in right now without some level of caution happening in here. When you typically see these things, they can end catastrophically bad. And for me, it's just been about, trying to remain in that middle ground and protection right now. I have no problem missing 10 or 15 or 20% on some of this stuff in order to not get into a catastrophe. And, it is typical that we're going to see bounces come out of these things like this, like what we saw. But I bet there was people in the thick of this moment who couldn't believe it was happening. And were utterly disgusted and sick to their stomach. I know that because I've been through many of them, right? We just had one recently over here. They don't feel good. And there are times where it doesn't come back like this. And the example of that was in 2021. If you remember that, again, not to scare you, just to kind of wake up some people to listen to what I'm saying. I'm not coming on here to be your bearish enemy. I'm coming on here to just show you charts, show you how things behave, and just like remind you of what happened when we did these things previously, right? Like when this happened, do you remember how bad those crashes were? And they didn't bounce back like what you see right now, right? Like I remember, this one right here. I mean, it was just so nasty. It's so nasty. I mean, we saw so many coins lose 80% of their value in this fall, right? And this is what we were just comparing against, right? If we're in like a 702 retracement, once that came to an end, everything fell 80%. And that was that. So just, if you're trying to if you're in here gambling and playing the game of whatever you're playing, I don't know. I just get so many comments, right? Realize I'm not here to play the characters that people like to play on Twitter. People love to come on and go viral and get attention and be the bad guy and play the villain role. I do not care. My main thing is that I've been doing this for 6 years. I've made plenty of mistakes along the way of doing this for 6 years. And I'm always trying to learn. And things that I really tried to focus on and understand during 2023 and 2024 is why was 2021 so different? Because it was not mimicking that of anything that we had seen before in the cryptocurrency market. And so when we've been flashing all of these same behaviors here currently, as we did in 2021, everybody's in denial and focusing back on 2017 still. Everybody's still looking at 2013. They're looking at 2017 and writing off 2021 as if it never happened. And to say that's not something we should use as a reference point. And the thing I'm just trying to say is, hey, what if? What if rather than thinking, hey, every cycle is going to get bigger and bigger and more bullish and bullish, what if they're going to get crappier and crappier every time? Right? So, yeah, in the end, right, we're all trying to make some money along the way. But I know we don't want to get wrecked either. So do whatever you want, man. It doesn't matter to me. Do whatever you want. But I'm just going to show you the data, show you the things that I see. And as long as your data is telling you something different, and as long as you're not relying on influencers to give you the confidence that you need, and somebody on Twitter or on YouTube to say, trust me, bro, I understand this. And if you don't understand it, you're in trouble. Make sure you understand it. So whenever I show stuff on my channel, I try to elaborate. I try to give explanations. I try to make it to the way the person who doesn't even understand how to read charts can understand what I'm saying and understand my argument. And if you're not given that by somebody else, and if that's where all your faith relies, you probably need to recheck what you're doing. All right. So, okay. We'll move on. So careful out there. XRP, right? I brought this stuff up in here, right? And it's still to this day, like, I want to make sure we're clear. Like, these are the things that obviously we've talked about in here. There's still, I don't know if it's going to shoot up in here, if it's going to get to like 290 or something like that. We did see that happen yesterday. It happened kind of like pinpoint. You saw H-bar do that. It actually slammed right into that level right in there, and that's where it all struggled at. So it's, we see evidence in here. Of course, like you take a look at it for anybody who's like support resistance, right? Like your obvious levels to say, oh, this is where we broke down from. That's going to end up being the resistance. It's not necessarily true, right? That's it right there for XRP. It's not like, yes, it has hit it. It has hit it. That could end up being it. It could just end up being a sweep of the highs. I'm just not going to sit here and say it is, it isn't. The minimum requirement to be met is that we sweep that high right there. So that's already happened. We've now hit that, but I still think it's totally reasonable. You could even get as high as that. I don't know if we will, but that's what we've talked about when looking at it through things like this, right? Is that you could get that high, and you just got an example of it yesterday. And what we did see was resistance, right? H-bar failed there. So, okay. As for Bitcoin, right, what did it do in the last couple of days? It also did the sweep of that high right there. It's a perfect little sweep. I've given examples of that over there. You've also met the minimum requirement. I'm going to speculate we could go to the 702, but we have swept it. I'm going to speculate that we're not fully breaking down yet. But I think we're reaching a point where we're going to start stalling out and struggling up in here right now. These are the things that I've shown you of what post-liquidation ranges can look like. This is Ethereum over here. Is the exact what you would expect after getting near those range highs, but it still means realistically, typically what happens in these things, we're going to go right back up here again. We're going to go right back up. We're going to make everybody all excited again. We'll pull back down again. But yeah, so it's still waiting for range development and waiting for confluence, right? I think the thing that I'm waiting for is to see something really familiar in range development happen in here. And then if Bitcoin goes and it gets to a 702 retracement, and then if you have like news and all that kind of stuff happening at the same time, I'll probably make everybody upset. Yeah, right. So like the main thing I'm weighing out in my head right now, just to give you my line of thought, right? So like I acknowledge the bears argument, I acknowledge the bulls argument, and I'm sorry bulls and I'm sorry bears. Neither one of you have a good enough argument. Is where I stand. And so I sit in the middle ground, right? 50% exposed, 50% in cash. And what I'm looking for is not necessarily something to tell me to blast my cash in right now. I think that the bears have a stronger argument. I don't like if you, like I said earlier, if you kind of weighed the argument, whose is better, I'd say like the bears have a 70% better argument than the bulls do. So right now it's not on my radar to be like, hey, I need to blast my cash in. I'm more so in the mindset right now of, am I going to get the confluence factors right in here to tell me to get to 65% cash, which is my bear market allocation, right? So that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm not too focused on, oh no, I need a YOLO in or FOMO in by any means. I'm more so of, am I about to get the confluence factors that I need to see to be at 65? So until something changes, that's just kind of where we're at. All right. There you go. All that. Yields. So yields are finally starting to move down a little bit. It's kind of interesting because we're supposed to see a 25 basis point rate cut. You do have the 3-month yield already down there to 3.72. We don't have the 2-month down there all the way yet. It's on its way, obviously, but man, it sure waited to the very end to go for it. But it's not too far, right? So they got like 7 basis points left to go to be able to get there. So it looks like 25 basis points is the most likely thing. And of course, that is what they have it priced in. 99% probability of 25 basis points, 0.1% chance of them pausing. So anybody who's sitting there saying 50 basis points, nobody thinks that. The market doesn't have that priced in. The yields don't have that priced in. The yields have 25 basis points priced in as we get ready to head into that today. Oh, all right. Russell 2000, 24.99 as we kickstart our day. Gold and silver, right? This has been the big topic, of course, of the last couple of days. There's been 9 consecutive green weeks. So we did get our big red week yesterday. We're still kind of holding on here right now. This is for silver currently right now. This is the 1980 high. That's where it still resides on there. We have a couple of more days left in the week and, of course, left in the month. The month will close out on Friday. We'll see how this ends up holding. I don't know if this technically needs to hold $48, but if it does hold $48, obviously what happens? Highest first time to close above the 1980 high, and of course would be the highest close in history for the monthly time frame. So we'll see how that ends up going. And I get it, even me, right? You see downward move in gold, you're like, all right, cool, man. Is that another case for the bulls? It's just we have 9 consecutive green weeks. Is this temporary, right? Is this going to violently turn its way back up? It's going to have to get some more price development happening in here, and we'll see how that goes. Because you still have the dollar still continuing to do just fine over in here. The dollar is still double bottomed, right? Again, another thing for the bears. And so when people say, I'm referring to this because it was mentioned in the chat earlier, right? Like, if you're a bull, you have to say, and you're going to hang on your hat on like some macro things, right? If you're going to hang your hat on gold, for example, but then you also have to say, but this doesn't matter. And so it gets to a point of we just picking and choosing which data points we want to care about. And that's the really hard part about right now. We're trying to pick and choose which data points matter, which ones don't, right? I don't care about all the bearish divergences. I don't care about the liquidations. I'm going to hold on to this particular data point because I think it suits my bias in that I want price go up. I want to be rich. I'm going to hold on to these ones and excuse these, right? And the same thing for the bears. If you hold on to all the bearish data, you're negating all the bullish data too, right? And so I'm just trying to present everything and to say everybody's ridiculous. Right? Doesn't matter what side you're on, everybody's ridiculous. But, you know, if you had to weigh it and say, you know, where is it leaning more? The bears have more arguments than the bulls do. The bulls do have them, but the bears have more, I think. All right, moving on over. Boeing stems cash burn for the first time since 2023, but takes $4.9 billion charge of 777X delays. NVIDIA shares pop 3% in pre-market as tech giant nears historic $5 trillion valuation. CVS beats estimates, hikes guidance as insurance business improves. Here we go, crypto news. Senate Democrats demand answers on Trump's pardon on Binance's CZ. Bitcoin ping pong price action will stick until Fed, FOMC, and U.S.-China deal wrap up. Malays party wins midterms, but crypto won't celebrate. Bitcoin OG Kyle Hasey is one strike away from a YouTube permaban. Regulated crypto yield wins as institutions demand substance. Oh, wait, there's more. Bitcoin is too expensive for retail. Threatens to end the bull market cycle. Hey, man, whatever we got to say. Right, and let me tell you this right here. No matter what, promise you, 100% promise you, when the bull market comes to an end, all these things that we see right now, all of them, right? If the Russell 2000 rejects from the 4.236 extension, if the market does not recover from the liquidation, if everything goes to Goblin Town after here with all the signs out there, none of that will be blamed. It's going to be whatever catalyst there is, right? There will be some catalyst. Sometimes catalysts don't cause any price action. It doesn't matter what it is. Some type of catalyst is going to happen, and that's going to be the blame. Not everything leading up to it. It's that, right? A good example of that is, why did crypto crash in April and May of 2022? Why did this crash happen right here and right here? Why did we lose all of our supports and go crashing and crumbling down? Right? Luna, right? Luna and UST, remember that? It collapsed to zero. Celsius, right? That's why we crashed, right? Or did we? Was it the stock market? Did Luna and UST cause the stock market to fall first? Right? So just remember that. It will be a narrative. There always is. And that will be the blame. So when the time comes and you're ready to scream at the narrative, just say, hey, man, where are the signs there? I don't know. Okay. All right. Fed today in 4 hours and 18 minutes. It's the first time we won't stream it in years. I announced my retirement from Fed live streams. Kind of excited for that. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I love hanging out with you guys, but I sit there for an hour and a half with the stream running, and I just got to sit at my computer waiting for it to end. But yeah. All right. So in 4 hours and 18 minutes, there you go. And I just don't care about the Fed. I just don't care. So, okay. There you go. All right. We'll see how things go in here. Where am I at? I'm at 38 minutes. All right. We got to go back to talking about what we're doing. Let me see how much money we've raised. Today's live stream is brought to you by me, but we're doing a fundraiser for Operation Airdrop. So I won't make anything. You know, I do get some ad revenue. I make like $100, right? I make 100, 150, $200 in ad revenue. I can see somehow, some way, somebody has donated me $12.52. I don't know how you got that through. I thought that was disabled when this is a charity stream. but before I went on my long ramble, I donated 500, right? So I won't make anything on this stream. Sacrificed my income from the stream and gave 500. So, right. Okay, I've got this going. You can see, wow, right, man, let's go. All right, we've raised $3,794 for Operation Airdrop. Let me show you this, okay? Here you go. This is Hurricane Melissa. And so this is Category 5 making landfall on Jamaica. That is the absolute most devastating thing you can possibly have happen, is for a Cat 5 to come in and crush like that. It broke all kinds of records for strength, pressure, dryness, eye temperature, and to make landfall while you're breaking records is the most devastating thing that can happen, of course. So this is Operation Airdrop. If you're unfamiliar with how hurricanes go, for people who have been there in them, I'm probably going to accurately describe it. What initially happens is, you're kind of getting ready for the hurricane. The hurricane comes in, you hunker down, you ride it out. Sometimes people will party during them and stuff like that. But when it's something really serious like this, it's less like that. When it gets really intense, it can get they'll get nerve-wracking, gets a little loud, and a lot of things outside start breaking. And a Cat 5 is different because that's kind of a description of a Cat 1 or a Cat 2 that has said Cat 5, everything is breaking. There's flash flooding happening. Electricity, of course, goes out. Cell phone reception completely goes out. Access to food, access to clean water, all those things fade away. And, it's like a two-part event going through a hurricane. It's one, just going through the intensity of it actually hitting, and then it's the aftermath of it and how long that lasts. And it's not like a tornado where maybe it's just going to hit one little isolated pocket and then your entire community around you is still okay. No, everybody's impacted by this. It's total devastation that happens throughout everywhere. Everybody's impacted. And those weeks leading after it, the days leading after it, not having access to cold water, ice, and some people just water in general, clean water, food. And of course, you're dealing with the emotional loss of everything that you've had happen. Anyway, this is Operation Airdrop, and what they do is they drop off supplies and goods to people that are in unreachable areas where it's so catastrophic that they can't really be helped by land. So Operation Airdrop is a Texas-based 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to providing rapid relief to communities impacted by natural disasters. Founded in the aftermath of Hurricane Harvey in 2017, we mobilized volunteer pilots, and a diverse fleet of aircraft to deliver essential supplies to areas cut off from traditional aid routes. By partnering with local charities and organizations, we ensure that vital resources such as food, medical supplies, and baby items reach those in need within hours, not days. So by donating here to the fundraiser, it's going to these guys, and hopefully we can get some diapers, we can get some food, we can get some peanut butter, we can get some stuff delivered and airdropped in for some of these people who are going to be going through a very unfortunate time of their lives right now. And, these things always hit hard because these were people just totally living their lives, totally normal. It was by none of their own doing that this event happened to them. They're just living their lives, and then devastation comes in and takes it all away. So if you want to do that, you can donate to the fundraiser here. You don't have to do it here through the fundraiser. You can go directly over here to operationairdrop.org, and they have right in here you could do it. So right up here at top, you can click donate to Melissa response right there and do this. And I know I'm sounding pitchy. I'm sounding like this is like a sponsored thing or something like that. It's totally not. I don't have sponsors. I don't do anything like that. I'm just trying to do something nice during these things because I watch my own YouTube content, things that I'm passionate about, that you guys know. I'm passionate about crypto. I'm passionate about gardening. I'm passionate about coin collecting and coin roll hunting. But I also am passionate about severe weather. So I watch a lot of severe weather stuff. And whenever there's hurricane stuff, I'm always watching it. I'm sucked into it. I'm watching it. And I know that these people are devastated tremendously afterwards. So if you want to do it, go directly to operationairdrop.org or do it right here through the live stream. So, okay. That's it. Ah. Okay. I'm going to now go through all these because there's a lot of them. And I do still have to go in 15 minutes. And so I'm just going to rattle off names of all you guys who were generous enough to donate. I was waiting for it to load, and then I can go through it. And we're at $4,306. Thank you, guys. All right. Chieftain Blackbeard gave $200. Thank you, sir. R. Sems gave $5. Anonymous gave $20. Levitas DR, BCB, others macro, others at D, macro 5 waves up, ABC finish. I don't know. I can't pull that up right now, brother. Thank you. Tom Lewis, new member, welcome. Anonymous gifted 20. Anonymous gifted 5. Keithan Lockett gifted 20. Thank you. Anonymous with 20. Anonymous with 5. Jeff Miranda with $1.99. Hey, BCB, what do you target when you go fishing? It just depends if it's like a lake or a pond or if it's ocean fishing. And it just depends on what mood I'm in. If I feel like active fishing, of course, I'm going to go for bass. But if I'm feeling lazy and I want to put out a few poles, I'll go for cats. My favorite are crankbaits for bass. And for catfish, typically my go-to is just frozen shrimp. Those work awesome. Go to the grocery store, buy the frozen shrimp, use them raw. Telling you, you'll catch catfish all day. I tried a new recipe recently that was pretty crazy with chicken and jello and like what's that, like licorice extract stuff and onion powder or garlic powder or something. It worked. It was crazy. Tony in Montana, what economic factors do you believe would be the reasons for not getting a blow off top? Do you think the global trade war played a significant role? Well, it would just be more like, what we saw in 2021. That your blow off top in markets truly actually happened back in 2021 for macro markets. And everything we're seeing in 2025 is kind of like, to drive the analogy of like Bitcoin and crypto of April of 2021 is the same as the entire year of 2021 for macro. And then Bitcoin and crypto of November of 2021 is like an equivalent of macro in 2025. Anonymous, $50. Senor Pit Snipe, $5. Anonymous, 5. Tony Montana with 20. Thank you. Anonymous with 5. Dale Edge, $1.99. Will you say you were right all along when $8? Well, I mean, I don't think. See, the thing is, I don't think it's unreasonable to think that we could still get there. I just don't think it's happening right now. That's the problem. Right? There's nothing saying that we can't just do something like that. Obviously, we do something like this, that's going to blow. Right? That is going to blow. I don't know how we're going to get to $8 if we do something like that. But if it's just still continuing ranging, right? And then we just settle down in here and yeah, sure will. Sure will. Everyone's saying, no, you didn't. No, you did not. Anonymous with 100. Thank you. Clicker 101 with 10. Choke on Bones with 5. What the heck's with 5. Eric Martinson with 100. My brother. Eric, thank you. R. Sems with another 20. Thank you. Anonymous with 20. Anonymous with 1,000. Some dude out there, or ma'am, said, I don't want to be acknowledged in any way, but I'm going to gift a mega bomb. Thank you. Of course, this is all going to charity, going to Operation Airdrop. While I'm reading these, I just need to include this up here. This is where this money is going. This is where all these donations are going to that I'm reading off. They're not going to me. They're going here. Anonymous with 20. Bread Garlic House, my man, with 50. Blockchain Backer, who's that guy, with 500. Dude. All right, Arm Day with 5. Anonymous with 5. Anonymous with 20. Anonymous with 100. Anonymous with 20. Anonymous with 20. Anonymous with 20. Anonymous with 20. Somebody's like sitting there thinking, why am I skipping? Nicandros Sopin with 20. A couple more anonymous with 20 and with 10. Vulture 07 with 500. Amazing. Guys, yeah, if it's $5, if it's 20, if it's 100, 500, 1,000, whatever, everything counts, guys. Somebody said something one time that hit home with me. That sometimes, sometimes you don't do things to I don't remember how to put it, but it's kind of like doing something nice for somebody. It's not necessarily just to do something nice for them, but it's just because it makes you feel good. Right. I did something good. Vulture, thank you. H. Hulk with 20. John Lively with 20. Janelle Patel with 20. Anonymous with 20. Anonymous with 50. Gabriel Raquel Rivera Barrios. I bet I got close. Barrios. How about that? Gabriel Raquel Rivera Barrios. Did I get it? I am not Spanish. I was about to say I am, but I totally am not. All right. Ari Madungo. Madugno. I read that name. Somebody was like, yep, definitely not. All right. $20. Skeleton with 50. Jake McAuliffe with 100. Anonymous with 5. Daniel Moore with 50. Let's go. Chris Cushman with 100. Anonymous with 20. Anonymous with 50. Bulldog 589 with 50. Let's go. Anonymous with 5. Anonymous with 20. Chris with maybe Mexican pesos, $100. Thank you. Anonymous, $50. Deanin It Yourself with 20. We're at $4,615. Anonymous with 5. Another anonymous with 5. Another anonymous with 20. An anonymous with 5. The Siamese Electric with $20 donated to Operation Airdrop to help critical supplies get airdropped to these people who are in need. So keep your eyes on X today. You want to see videos and footage coming out? Yeah, I mean, the reports that are going to come out of Jamaica are going to be brutal. And of course, Cuba just got hit too, right? And they're gonna need help too. And it's hard to minimize it when you're in an environment like this, because if what didn't happen to Jamaica, we'd all be focused on it's real sad for Cuba. But the level of devastation that Jamaica took was just ravishing. They say that it's going to leave a scar mark that we're going to be able to see on satellite imagery that cuts through the whole island, and that it will permanently be there. That's 35 miles wide of the utter destruction that happened. And that will be a permanent scar that cuts right through Jamaica. And I can't guarantee it, but based on what meteorologists are saying, we'll see it very soon. Mike Ekdahl, 50. Thank you. Anonymous with 50. Moon Man High with 20. Thank you very much. Another anonymous with 100. It's amazing how many of you guys do it anonymously. It's amazing how many of you do it. And it's crazy. Anonymous with 20. So we had anonymous with 100, anonymous with 20, anonymous with 100. $220 just anonymously even within 2 minutes right there. Mark Johnson with 100. Thank you, man. These are crazy. Anonymous with 50, anonymous with 20, anonymous with 20, 20, 20, and 20 from anonymous people. Blunt Rap Supreme with 20. Anonymous with 10, anonymous with 20. Moses Benny with 5, anonymous with 10. XRP John with 100, anonymous with 50, 50, 20, 20, 5. Amazing. And I'm all caught up. Whoa. Let's go. With TRY 150. I'm not sure what that is, but thank you. Our total right now is $4,770. And then another anonymous donation of 20 pounds just came through right now. So again, just to kind of reiterate where we're at right now, you just kind of humming along here for the crypto market, guys. And I know everybody wants bull, bear, go to moon, but it's still just very rangy. Still just very, very rangy. Listen to what I'm saying with open arms. When you're, and let me say this too, because I'm a content creator, okay? When you're watching anybody, right? Like, what are their motives? What are they trying to do, right? I'll tell you mine, all right? One, I spent a lot of time studying 2021, okay? You should know that if you stuck around here for a long time, because mistakes were made in 2021 by me. A lot of people, including me, mistakes were made because the market was so different. It was very, very different. Going through 2022 was really horrendous, right? Just utterly, utterly horrid. There's sleepless, when you see those mega crashes, right? There's sleepless nights. There's difficulty sleeping. There's waking up in the middle of the night, checking on things, trying to see if they're improved and trying to figure all that stuff out. And so, throughout all of 2023 and 2024, I spent a tremendous amount of time studying the market and what happened in 2021. And because I never wanted that to happen again. I never wanted to go through that. I never wanted to come onto my channel and for us to go through that and to make that kind of mistake ever again. So when I come on here, it's not just me reading the charts, not me just telling you what I'm thinking. It's also being that I don't ever want to be in that position ever again. I don't ever want to go through that again, where the market goes down like that, and that type of stuff happens. Now, you could argue and say, oh, that's just him being fearful. Well, it's not. It's me studying all of the behavior that happened and saying that we're doing the same stuff. Right? And that's why we had the major liquidation, because we're doing the exact same stuff. So I care about us not getting not getting wrecked. Right? That's what I care about. Right. I want to provide good. I don't want to provide bad. As a content creator, it's never good going into a bear market. It does not matter if you get it right. It does not matter. When you go into a bear market, views go down, engagement goes down, the sentiment of the market goes down. Nobody is sitting there clapping for you and saying, you're so right. Yes, our market blows, but you're amazing. That doesn't happen. Okay. Been here long enough. That doesn't happen. But I just don't want people to feel the things that we felt in 2022. They were really bad. So I don't know. Maybe I also don't care too much about growing my YouTube channel. I think I reached a level I never ever thought I would get to. I feel very grateful that I still get 30, 40, 50,000 views on each video. I've watched most content creators out there stumble and fall, and their views are just way down from what they used to be. And I just look at it every day and say, how do I still have the views? I'm real shocked by it. So I'm grateful. I'm in gratitude. I have no desire to be the main character. I don't want to be it. And I just want us to be okay. So if I don't get another Twitter follower or subscriber on my YouTube channel for the rest of my life, I'm okay with that. Genuinely. I'm satisfied with where I am. So it comes from a thing of me trying to present you the data honestly and having genuine concerns of what will happen if we do repeat that type of behavior again, as we did in 2022. And I would love to meet people at events and we're all just like having a good time and we're not like super depressed. So, all right, there you go. Now I don't know where I am on these donations. Oh, I remember I entered with the TRY person. Anonymous gifted 20, Anonymous gifted 50, Devin Crumpet gifted 25, Anonymous gifted 20, Anonymous gifted 10, Anonymous gifted 20. Caleb O'Brien gifted 100 and then 100 again. I hope that wasn't an accident, dude. If it was an accident, just say you did double the goodness for the world. But if you did it on purpose too, man, thank you. It's very generous. 200, thank you. He's obviously gifting to Operation Airdrop to help people from Hurricane Melissa. Anonymous with 20, 25, and 50. And then Matthew Mint UK did 20. And then JDJ with 50. And a couple more anonymous ones with 50 and then with 1. Hey, you know what? If one's all you got, one's better than none. It's Wednesday, my dudes. All right, I'll give you some Wednesday stuff. Been a little while. Here you go. Happy Wednesday, everybody. You're doing good for the world. How much money have you raised? $5,364. That's good for the world.
It is Wednesday, my dude. It is Wednesday.
All right. All right. Mass adoption gifted 20. Man, we're just giving diapers, water, food, dog food. Guys, there's dogs. If you don't like people, but you like cats and you like dogs, hey, they need food and water. Think about the dogs. All right. So this charity obviously will be available for the next 24 hours. If you see some content online and you're just like, oh man, that's really sad, how can I help? You can of course come back to this stream. You can gift through here. Obviously, it's whatever your payment method is linked to YouTube. This money never gets handled by me. So whatever it is, the $5,364 that has been raised during this charity, you don't have to trust me. You can read YouTube's terms of service and how fundraisers work. You can see this is a fundraiser live stream. This money never passes through me. It goes straight to YouTube. The nice thing about it is that typically when you do give me a donation or you sign up for a membership or whatnot, YouTube does take a cut. They take their hefty share of what for them. But that's the cost of being able to use their platform. So I understand that. But when you do a fundraiser, they don't take any of it. 100% of it goes to the nonprofit. If you don't feel like doing it through YouTube and you want to do it in another way, of course, you can go directly to their website, operationairdrop.org. And you can go there and click on donate to Melissa Response. And then you can just donate it directly to them and skip the middleman and go straight. But of course, you'll have to put in your information here on their website. Whereas with YouTube, you can, of course, just use your linked payment method. So there you go. So mass adoption had gifted 20, anonymous with 20, 25 from Hamid Niazi, and anonymous. Thank you for 5. So this will be open all day, you guys. Please come back if you have some spare time to do it. And I think that's it. This is normally where I pitch the newsletter, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to leave it on this note. I hope that you decide to donate. I'm really proud of you guys too. $5,000 is a lot of money. I think they'll be very happy with that. And y'all, you guys are amazing. Thank you. In the Sticks donated 10 as well. Trying to think if there's anything else I want to say. I just want to help on this thing, and yeah, All right. That's it. Guys, thank you all so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching. If you could, please like the live stream and give it a thumbs up. Anonymous with 5. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Joanne with the 100. All right. What do we do? Y'all are still gifting. Y'all are still donating. What do we do? Blast it. Blast the money. I can't stay live all day long. That's the unfortunate thing. I do have obligations in life. I can't keep going. That's the problem. A 6K stream. Yeah. Yeah, I thought about just doing a dedicated stream to it later. Just on Wednesdays in particular, I can't go past. Like, if I'm not done in 7 minutes, my life gets very, very, very difficult. Leave it running in the background for 3 hours. See, I don't know if that's reasonable or not. I just have a stream and we just play this running the whole time, right? I'm scared. I'm scared of what will pop up on my computer while I'm gone. 10K equals a Fed live stream? No. No. No, I think I'd have to take the 10K. I would need the 10K. Yeah, so Joanne gave 100, Nazario gave 5, and we had a bunch of anonymouses of 50, 5, 50, and 50. Y'all are raising so much money. You're doing amazing. What are you at? $5,700. Destructive Alien said, hey, can you mention the AI and chip bubble for a second? I don't know what there is to mention. Bad lad, thank you very much. Yeah, and like, let's be real. I've been doing this gig for a very long time. I know when I speak about these things, 95 to 99% of people are good, logical people. I know that, right? So when we're talking about this stuff, it's usually about 1 to 5% with the negative comments and stuff like that. It's really 1%, and that's the law of large numbers. You have 300,000 followers, 99% are cool, which is 297,000 people. 1% are not cool, and that's 3,000 people. Well, 3,000 people is a lot of voices, right? And those voices are loud, and that's just historically how those people are. But when I speak of these things too, it's not that when we're talking about bull and bear. I've seen polls that have been conducted on Twitter, right, of how many people were like buy the dip. The vast majority of the market is in buy the dip mode. When we were moving up and up and up, what is one thing I said over and over again? The crowd is always terrified and fearful during bull market dips. They don't buy the dips and they're scared of them, right? But that we would know we're in a bear when that crash and that dip comes and the crowd buys it and isn't scared of it. That's when you finally reach the bear side, when the crowd is not afraid of the dip. And so I've seen polls conducted that would tell me the crowd did not get scared of the dip. And so when I speak, I know that people are mixed, right? And I know that most of you do not just follow me. And you shouldn't just follow me. You should listen to voices. But when I present everything, I try to make an argument really strong. I don't try to say, we're going to go here because I think we're going here for no reason. Trust me, bro. It's, these are the reasons why and the justifications for why. And I know a lot of people follow a lot of other people, and a lot of other people are saying, hey, no, we're going up. Just weigh it all out. I've presented my side, right? If the other side is presented as thoroughly as mine is, great. Otherwise, hear me out. That's what we got going on. All right, we got more. We got Anonymous with 50, Polish Proton with 25, Anonymous with 50, Anonymous with 1, and Anonymous with 5. Guys, thank you all so much. I've got to run. We did an amazing job. Did we almost hit 6,000? $5,772. It's amazing. All right. Thank you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching. If you could, please like the live stream and give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. What am I doing? I don't remember. I'm so distracted with this thing on my screen. I've been watching this dude put that in that airplane like 5,000 times already. All right. If you could, what do I say here? That's it. Thanks so much for watching. If you could, please like this video and give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice and I'm not a financial advisor, but if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Thanks for all the $1 anonymous donations and the fiber. Have a good one.